Good morning, children. So what we have discussed in third lesson, that is animal fiber. Already we discussed a little part of this lesson. So animal fiber, the fibers which we get from the animals are called animal fiber. This is like plant fiber. Animal fiber also is a natural fiber which we get from the nature, isn't it? So what are the animal fibers which we get from the animals are silk. From silkworm, sheep, goat, or llama, alpaca, isn't it? Yak. These animals gives us fibers, isn't it? Already we have discussed. Now here, a story of a silk we started. What happened? Nilima visited to sericulture exhibition. What is sericulture? Rearing of silkworm is called sericulture, that is X to adult is called sericulture. In different stages it takes place process. So she visited a sericulture exhibition. So first stall what she who was there, which girl, that is I think Pratima. What she explained her about the how the eggs are produced and how many eggs are laid by the silk moth. The eggs of the silk moth are called seeds. Seeds. Eggs of the silk moth are called seeds, isn't it? And what is the name of the silk moth? Chilakalu. In Telugu it is called Chilakalu, and another name for silk moth is Bombyx mori. Bombyx mori. Remember, this name is very important. Bombyx mori. So each moth lays about 500 eggs. About 500 eggs and goes done, isn't it? Now we will start the sericulture process here. These eggs are very tiny, very small eggs. Isn't it? Very small and very tiny eggs are laid by the moth. These eggs are transferred on the white sheet of paper or thin white cloth they use for hatching purpose. Isn't it? For hatching they use very thin cloth for hatching. The eggs are now hatched into tiny worms. This where you find this from where they are going to purchase people. What she said, from where, what you call it, the place name is, the seeds where it grows are called greenages. What do you call it? Greenages. There is a very big seed growing center in Chittoor district, that is Horsley Hills in Chittoor district, isn't it? So here the eggs are, now she visited to next stall, that is what is the Rahman is there. So here from different states the people will come and buy in any eggs. Some will buy tiny worms, or some will buy the larval stage also, some will buy the cocoon also, or adult moth also they buy. So Kadapa, Kurnool, Mahbubnagar district they come and they purchase this, isn't it? So here now she visited to another stall, there Rahman is there. So he is going to explain what he said to Nilima. My full family is involved in this business, only in sericulture only. Everyone is involved in sericulture only. So what he said, my grandfather is there, he will go to Horsley Hills to get the tiny plants of mulberry. Mulberry plants. What is a mulberry? The food for the worms. Isn't it? The mulberry will be chopped, very finely chopped, and placed on a sheet of paper or on the cloth, and they are allowed the eggs to hatch into worms. So this is the main food of the worms, isn't it? So very big plantation is there for me, 2 acres of land is there. So we buy the tiny plants from the Horsley Hills in Chittoor district for planting. So what it means is they are having mulberry plantation, isn't it? So now what his father will do? His father will look after the worms. He look after the worms. What he will say now, here, these tiny worms now going to become increase in size. Increase in size. When the size increases, they have to transfer it into a bigger cages. Isn't it? Bigger cages. So how? These cages are called in Telugu Chandrikalu. What we call it Chandrikalu. Isn't it? So the size of the worms increases. They transfer this into this. They first, before transferring, they cover the full cage with the mulberry leaves, chopped mulberry leaves. Chopped mulberry leaves they keep here in the cage. Now they allow the worms to grow. So what happened here? Day and night, full day and night, they eat. The worms will eat. Full day and night they eat. Isn't it? And these tiny worms are changed into larval stage. This is called caterpillar. What do you call the larva of the silk moth is called a caterpillar. What do you call it? Caterpillar. This is called caterpillar. The size of the worm is increased. Continuously they eat, 24 hours they eat, day and night they eat. Mulberry leaves, vigorously they eat. Now, after 30 to 35 days, what happens? What happens? They releases a gelatinous substance, fibrous substance will be released from its mouth. That fibrous substance, when it exposed to the air, it becomes strong. It becomes strong. So what happens that fibrous substance, they weave around its body like a network. Like a network, they cover the body of the caterpillar. Completely the body is covered. Like this. Like this. You are not seeing here now the caterpillar. Caterpillar is covered with the network. Isn't it? Completely it is covered with the fibrous substance which is released from its mouth. Isn't it? So completely it is covered. Now it is like a closed sac. It is like a closed sac. You are seeing this white structure, closed sac. Inside this sac, caterpillar is there. Understood? Now, here, this sac is what you call it cocoon. Cocoon. Even the cocoons also, the people will come and buy from different states. In this stage also, the people will come and buy the cocoons also. So, this is what you call it cocoon. Understood? Now, cocoon is ready. What happens? Now, here they have to take more care. What happens? Now, these cocoons, larva changes into moth. Larva changes into moth inside the cocoon. So, what happens if the larva changes into moth? It breaks the cocoon. By making a hole, it breaks the cocoon and flies away. So, what happens? All the efforts goes waste for the farmers. Why? When the moth breaks the cocoon and flies away, what happens? They will not get the continuous fiber. The fiber will be breaks into pieces, and there is no good quality of fiber they get. It breaks into pieces. So to avoid this, what they have to do is, what they will do, they transfer this into the ovens. They supply the heat for 10 to 15 minutes to kill the larva inside the cocoon. So killing of larva inside the cocoon is called stifling. Is called stifling. What do you call it? Stifling. Killing of larva inside the cocoon is called stifling. What happens if you will not stifle the cocoons? The larva, the caterpillar develops into larva and breaks the cocoon and flies away. And what happens? You will not get the quality fiber. The fiber breaks into pieces. You will not get the continuous fiber. Understood, children? So, stifling is necessary, or otherwise you have to sold it in the market within 2-3 days only. They will do further process of stifling. Okay, so now that's why stifling is very, very important. So, what is stifling? Killing of larva inside the cocoon is called stifling. Now, Nilima visited to other store. Hey, what is going on there? Why they are boiling this? Cocoons. Why they are boiling these cocoons? She got shocked by seeing this. So, what he is explaining is, no, they are boiling the cocoon to loosen the fiber. For loosening of the fiber, they are boiling the cocoons. They are searching the end of the fiber to take it out. Isn't it? This is what you call it, reeling process. This reeling process takes place in the reeling centers only. Understood? So here these cocoons will be, after stippling, they will pack it in the sealed bags, gunny bags, and sold it in the cocoon market. In Hyderabad also we are having this cocoon market also there in Hyderabad also. So here reeling, they boil the cocoons to loosen the fiber. To loosen the fiber, they boil it. So when they boil it, they get the end of the fiber and they remove it. So they use 4 to 5 fibers to make a yarn. To make a yarn, they use 4 to 5 fibers. In this way, how this process takes place in the sericulture exhibition or in sericulture industry, isn't it? Now here we'll see. So this is about the silk moth, life cycle of the silk moth, and here silk fiber you are getting from the animal only, that is silkworm only. It is made up of mainly proteins. What are the proteins present in this? What are the proteins? Fibroin and sericin. These are the proteins present in this. Fibroin and sericin. These are the proteins. So silk fiber is made up of proteins. It is an animal product, animal fiber. In the same way, cotton is a plant product, plant fiber, which is made up of carbohydrates. Carbohydrates, remember this. So, fibroin and sericin, these are the use. And now, where we are having these silk centers? Pochampalli. What is a Pochampalli? We visited even Pochampalli also last year. We visited Pochampalli, where this they purchase the fiber, they purchase the yarn and they use for making sarees or other fabrics, isn't it? By making the designeries. Why this Pochampalli is called Silk City? Because in large scale the production takes place of these fabrics. Every house will have this business. Every house you will get the business with their instruments, whatever instruments are required. So the name of this, and it is called Jamudani also, tie and dye method also. Tie and dye method, they use how they make it, they use the stone or something and they tie it and dip it in the color. Isn't it? That is called tie and dye method. So other Dharmavaram is there or Banaras is there. Isn't it? Kottakota is there. Why these names are getting for the silk fabric? Same fabrics only. But why the names are given for this? Because the silk manufacturing is taking place in particular place. So the name is given. In Banaras, why the? Because Banarasi sarees are very famous. Because the name, they are doing all this process in that place only. So the name is given. Banarsi, Dharmavaram, Kottakota, all these names are given because in that places only this process takes place. Isn't it? They bring the yarn from the yarn centers and they use this yarn for making the fabrics, silk fabrics. Isn't it? So now here we will see the thread which you get from the cocoons. It ranges from 1000 to 3000 feet. From each cocoon, 1000 to 3000 feet thread you get from the cocoons. So how many cocoons are required to make 500 grams of silk? That is 500 grams of silk. You need 2000 to 3000 cocoons are required for getting 500 grams of silk. 500 grams of silk, we require 2000 to 3000 cocoons are required for making this. So the people, those who are involved in this, they are completely exposed with this. They are completely, the exposure is there with this process. So, skin diseases are common, cancer is common, the people, those who are working in this. All the people are involved in different. Some will bring their home only. Some will have the mulberry plantation, or they will bring the eggs from the seed growing centers, or tiny worms from the seed growing centers, or cocoons. Isn't it? Different stages are there to do this process. So how this is actually how it began, the silk in China. Actually in China this silk is invented, discovered. See, the queen and what do you call it, king, both were sitting and they are enjoying with the sip of hot tea. Suddenly a caterpillar fall in the hot tea. So what happened? They shocked by seeing this, a fiber is coming out from that. What is that fiber at that time? They have stitched it. It is not even breaks into pieces, that much strong fiber is. So from that time onwards, this silk fiber is invented, discovered. Thank you, children.